we share the view that strengthening land governance will improve economic growth, improve food security, etc. But we must not forget that land also has a social and cultural value for communities, and very often it's not simply an economic question, it's also a question of protecting people's heritage and their rights and their human rights.
So you think that it will safeguard the rights of smallholder farmers, with notably not only the farmers but also people living.
Yes, safeguarding rights is vital, not only to, let's say, help people open bank accounts or whatever, but also because if they lose access to that land because it's given to an investor, they'll find instead that they'll end up working for that same investor in some kind of low-paid, low-quality job.
Yeah.
And what we've seen in country after country is low-quality employment replacing small farms. And this is something which is a great concern.
So you
to
see
us.
a lot of that, of what we call large-scale, let's say, investments, or even what we call land grabs in some cases. You see a lot of that on the field, and do you see any way that governments are taking to mitigate those issues, or?
Well, I mean, I think there's definitely much more acknowledgement that that land grabbing is an issue, and that there are real risks to large-scale land acquisition as a model of investment. And indeed, the World Bank and the UN have just done a review of I don't know, hundreds of investment projects, and have found that actually some of the largest ones have failed because they were large. Actually, that model has actually got a lot of flaws to it. But it's not only that pure land grabbing. It's not just people being kicked off their land by police forces or soldiers. Very often, it's an investment which fails to bring real benefits to the local community. And we don't know, we would challenge the idea that that's real development. So what you're often seeing is that people who are promised the earth but don't get the earth, they get much, much less than the earth.
All right. And they get very poorly compensated out of it?
It's not just about compensation. I mean, that's the point. Is for example, in countries where palm oil is being produced, frequently communities are asked to hand over some of their land in exchange for being able to participate in smallholder schemes. And so, yeah, it sounds great, like a benefit sharing model where small farmers get an income, and there's also a large plantation next door. What we've seen happening time and again is that the smallholder model doesn't work very well alongside the large scale model. We've also seen this in the soy industry as well, in Paraguay, for example. And frequently you'll find that smallholders cannot survive with the kind of incomes that they're getting from that model.